big old task. And I asked for something specific that she has not shared. And I am actually making her want to talk to me because she's like, wow, she's insightful. I feel like we're too generic in our ask, and then you get upset when people don't want to be your mentor, but there's no value, it was lazy, there was no research, and you didn't even tell me anything about you. You could be a bad performer. I don't want to be associated with you, you know? So that's how I think about mentorship. Mentorship is all around you. Mentorship should be a value exchange. Mentorship means you have done some work in order to earn the right for someone to take time out of their day to mentor you. I know that was the last question. I do want to leave you with this point that Michelle shared with me to wrap up. DEI Summit is so important. And I love the fact that this group is not monolithic here in this room. And I hope that for the next year, you bring someone that is opposite however your identity is described. So that it would double, but it would double with more dynamic perspectives. DEI, we know it's polarized, it's political, but as a parent, if I break the words up and I said diversity, I want my daughter and my son to know that's a beautiful word. If I use the word equity, I want my children to know equity is a beautiful word. Inclusion, I want my children to understand the power of inclusion and seeing everyone. DEI is being polarized, but let's not lose the plot. We are one at the end of the day. We are a brother's keeper. We have to be okay with our past, not to be shamed by it, but be inspired about the possibility of a do-better. I love understanding history because it makes me humble. I understand the fact that it was not a given for me to be a CEO, no matter how smart I am, no matter how talented I am. That was fight, blood, struggle, and no one was going to give me a shot unless someone had to fight for it. It did not come from osmosis. It was a fight. And me understanding that means I want to make sure that no one has to feel that. So you want to hold space. I know it can be exhausting, but let me remind you, it was exhausting for Shirley, Harriet, we can go on and on. They took a break, but they didn't quit. And so for us, for everybody, male, female, however you identify yourself, whatever shade your melanin is, it really does not matter. What matters is that we have to decide, do we want to make sure that all the practices from yesterday do not stifle progress for our country, for our community, and for our neighbors? That's a choice we make. Do we want to make sure that we share the truth so that we don't repeat the history? And do we want to acknowledge that things like People with Disabilities Act wasn't until the 90s, maternity leave 90s, laws on books wasn't until the 70s. We are still very new to eradicating our past. The reason why a DEI Summit is so important is it allows us to create space to get proximate to things that I didn't even consider. And I think if you want to be a great professional, you have to be curious about spaces that you may not have considered. It's like wanting to grow your practice and say, I want to not just do Newark, I want to go into different parts of the state of New Jersey. I want to go into Warren County, this county, Franklin Township. The only way you're going to understand it is let me understand that community. Let me understand the sales. Let me understand who works there, who lives there. Let me get proximate to something different because I was a condo and now I'm going to move to single family. So DEI is so important. It doesn't matter what you call it. I call it impact. I call it progress. And so I hope that you all take hold of it. I hope that you all decide how can we not get tired but bring more allies into the table. And by the way, we will not have true DEI unless Black and white is at the table. First, new immigrants, people here, everybody. It's a we thing, it's not an either or thing. And together, we'll be able to grow the country, we'll be able to do great things. So I just want to encourage you all, do not get tired. Take a water break. Clap me in, coach. I'll run this leg for you while you take your moment, but we're going to still run this race. We are still gonna run this race, and the race is required for us to run it, every single person. Thank you so much for the time.
Again, thanking Michelle, Thasunda